Jay-Z's Accuser is now scared and claims she is terrified of the rapper. What up, where's the boy Challz Brown back again talking facts. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe, hit the notification bell. Keep sending those Cashaps to CLBMG. Join the membership, gang. Listen. Jay-Z's Accuser, right? And this story is convoluted. I've been talking about this story for a while. And I told you in the very beginning that I did not believe that Jay-Z was going to be convicted of anything. I didn't even think he was going to be charged of anything. But he was charged, and a lot of people rejoiced because they were like, now it's time for Jay-Z to go down. They didn't have all the information. Sometimes you just got to wait, right? It's like celebrating in the fourth quarter, but it's still 4 minutes left, and the other team got the ball, and they're only down by 3. Yeah, sometimes you don't want to celebrate too soon. A lot of y'all celebrated in the very first, you celebrated at the kickoff. Like the ball's kicked off, y'all start celebrating a win. I'm just here to tell you, this was a complete loss and a failure. I'm going to read to you what happened, but I, for one, have said for months, the story didn't add up. It made no sense, and I didn't believe this woman. I'm just going to be honest. I never believed her. I am not a person who dismisses people, right? But some of you hitched your horse to the wrong wagon. Let's just say that. And I've said many times, there's mad smoke in regards to Diddy. I don't see any smoke in regards to Jay-Z. A lot of you guys want to say that just because he's around Diddy, he's guilty. I don't operate like that. I'm just going to be honest. My crimes aren't my man's crimes and vice versa, unless we did them together. If there's no proof of me doing anything with my mans, then there's no proof of me doing anything with my mans. I got friends that go out here and do kind of stuff. I'm not with them. I don't do it. I don't know what they're doing. And most of my friends are grown anyway. But at the end of the day, I don't have 20 years of history with a guy that's doing mad heinous stuff such as Diddy, but there's no dirt on me. If we're doing all this stuff together, there's going to be some dirt. Somebody's coming out of nowhere, and it ain't going to be Jaguar Wright. It's going to be somebody with some credibility. Just going to be honest. I ain't here to offend none of y'all, but I'm just here to tell you that I don't believe Hov did any of this. And we're getting to the point where it's being 100% proven that this particular person had nothing happen to her. I want to read this and we're going to have a conversation. Part of this is from TMZ. Jay-Z claims the Jane Doe who accused him of rape in an explosive lawsuit knew full well that no such thing ever happened. And now he's dragging her to court over it, as he should, because if she had her way, it would be a whole lot of millions crossing that table out of Jay's pocket, and God knows what them police would have done next after she won. And Tony Busby won. You saw what happened to Diddy when Diddy forked over that money to Cassie. Next thing you know, they was raiding his house. He was raiding his houses. Next thing you know, they had his sons in handcuffs, and next thing you know, they had his ass in prison. So who knows what would have happened had this chick won this lawsuit? So nah. In the immortal or the infamous words of Drake, nah. You gonna follow through. Gang, you gonna follow through. Let me finish. The music and fashion mogul just filed a lawsuit against his anonymous rape accuser and her attorney, Tony Busby, who is to me, a fraud and a creep. I think Tony Busby is an ambulance chaser. I think he used this girl who really was not mentally all there to take this case on. When she did that interview on NBC News, anybody could tell this girl ain't all there. She should have never been brought to trial, and this was stupid. But Tony Busby never intended her to be seen or heard. He didn't intend to bring her to trial. He knew the words 13-year-old accuser would be enough to make most men just pay. He named them, defendant 1 and defendant 2 and all this and that and the third. Let me continue. In the lawsuit obtained by TMZ, Jay-Z claims his accuser kept pushing her false rape narrative story in the media and in the courts despite allegedly admitting the assault story wasn't true. He claims the Jane Doe told Busby he didn't assault her and the lawyer pushed her to go forward with the false narrative of the assault by Mr. Carter in order to leverage a maximum payday. Jay-Z says the whole thing was an evil conspiracy to get him to pay Tony Busby a huge sum of money to keep the allegations quiet. Even though Busby and the woman knew they were pushing lies, I believe that Busby knew for a fact this woman's story did not add up. And I have said this several times. As we reported, the woman dismissed her lawsuit last month with prejudice, meaning it cannot be filed again. With prejudice means none of it can be reopened. You cannot bring this case to. That means nobody is dealing with it. They don't believe it, and she's not credible. Let's just say that. Let me keep this moving. Jay says she ultimately admitted to his legal team that she was lying the whole time. And he claims Busby is still trying to extort him with false claims that Jay-Z's people have been harassing Jane Doe since she dropped the lawsuit. Now, this is where it's getting sticky, right? And I have it in here, I'm going to talk about it, but I'm going to say this first. They're saying that now she's saying that Jay-Z is harassing and threatening her, which could be easily proven. That could be easily proven. Any harassments and threats could be traced back to whoever makes the call, whoever sends the email, whoever sends the text. This ain't like 2025 is different. 2025 is different. They can trace you doing anything now. They can trace you anywhere. And if you have harassing calls coming to you, give them the numbers. Let's give all the numbers that of the calls coming in. Give all the time someone's knocked on your door, threw rocks at your window. We need all it because we can figure all this out, right? I personally don't believe Jay-Z needs to harass her. I think this lady is not all there, and the case would have never won. And why would he harass you at this point? Now she's saying he harassed me to stop the case. I don't believe that either, because the simple fact you already started the case. There is no stopping. The case is already started. So you're saying that you ended the case with prejudice, but now you want to keep saying, how are you scared? Make it make sense. How can you be scared in the case with prejudice and then a week later saying, he harassed me, he's coming after me? You're scared or you're not. Make it make sense. I'm sorry. I may seem callous, but I don't like the shakedown. I don't like the shakedown. If you were brave enough to come forward, then stay forward. It's just me. I don't believe this lady was a victim. Don't get my comments talking about victims right. This not a victim. This never happened. She never drove to New York from Buffalo. She never drove to Manhattan. She never got a ride from Diddy's limo driver to Jersey. She never got drugged and fought her way out of Diddy's house and ran to a gas station and waited 8 hours for her father to come pick her up. And he never asked her what happened. Just drove her home for 8 hours straight and they didn't talk. I don't believe none of it. She's not a victim. I think she called the hotline. Tony Busby was like, yeah, I can get Jay-Z, and then this one, he gonna be a bigger bag than Diddy. Let me continue. Hov is going after his accuser and her attorney for damages. The suit has been filed in the U.S. District Court for the Southern District of Alabama, which is where this is originating from. And Jay is asking the court to allow him to sue her as a Jane Doe. He's not even bringing her name up. He don't even want her name. He wants the court to keep her name silent. Keep it silent. So she don't claim that it's a whole thing that she's being harassed now by all these people in social media. Jay is asking for the court to allow him to sue her as a Jane Doe because he believes she has a history of mental illness and medical vulnerabilities, including instances of self-harm. I'm gonna leave it there. She's not all, this woman is not all there. And Jay-Z already knows. He already knows who you are. He probably got all kind of info on her. You can hear her talking in the interview that she's not all there. I'm just going to be honest. But that don't excuse you for coming forward trying to destroy this man's life. There are a lot of people who have not let this go. They do not believe it. They do not believe that she's lying. There are a lot of people calling this man a lot of heinous things because of your allegations. This guy is going to have millions of people saying this about him, that he did this to a 13-year-old, connecting him with Diddy to a heinous crime. So no, I don't think you get a pass and you get to walk away. I'm sorry. Let me continue. Jay-Z is lying, according to Tony Busby. Now, this is the Tony Busby side of his team and the people around that's on her team. And reeks of desperation, says the lawyer represented the Jane Doe who accused the Grammy-winning rapper and the incarcerated Sean Diddy Combs of repeatedly raping her in 2000. In an already pugilistic case that was dismissed by the plaintiff. Listen to what I just said. Dismissed by the plaintiff. Wasn't no judge, wasn't no Jay-Z. She dismissed her own case. Jay-Z ain't that scary. He ain't that scary. Now, let me ask you a real question, just between me and you. Nobody else is in the room. If that girl come up missing, who the first person did it? Make it make sense, gang. If I'm Jay-Z and I'm declaring my innocence and I know I didn't do it, in my mind, or even if, let's say I did it, right? Why wouldn't I just have paid, gang? Make it make sense. If he did this and he got to do all this threatening of this woman, scaring her out of the case, making her fear for her life, all of that's costing him money and time, putting all kind of dirt on his name. He could have just paid this. But y'all don't want to use critical thinking. You want everything to be a conspiracy. Make it make sense, gang. He could have paid her the little bit of cake. This guy is like a billionaire, gang. He could have gave her 30 mil, 20 mil, and it would have been over. He gonna spend that sooner. Make it make sense that you still believe this guy did this and he's scaring this girl. Why would I not just pay it instead of going through all this, letting it get out into the public media, and then having to scare her to recant? And then when she recants, she tells anyway that I was scaring her. It don't make no sense, gang. It don't make no sense to me. Let me finish. Tony Busby today claims things have turned more nasty in recent weeks. Quote, pay attention here. They wanted a headline, so in the new case, they falsely claimed she recanted. She didn't. She hasn't. She won't. Busby said today in a post on social media. Busby's going to write anything to save his license. Let me just be clear. Busby's going to do anything to save his license. I know a lot of you guys love to see guys go down. There was a false report that Jay-Z was at the top of the Epstein list. What list? False report. You guys ran with it. You're running with the most insane stuff. You're getting goony Google, gang. Slow down, son. You're getting goony Google. A lot of stuff is being disproven right as you start to celebrate it. Slow down, because you got to go back and delete the posts. But some of you guys don't care. You leave up these posts anyway. You're going to come at this man to the end of time because for whatever reason you got against this guy, you want this to be true. Well, I'm going to be the first person to let you know it's not true. Not this one. Maybe the next one or the one after that. But this one, And Tony Busby is a clown. And Tony Busby going to mess around and let Diddy get off because of all of the clown and buffoonery he's doing. They're going to keep poking holes in this man's little cases until they start to get reasonable doubt. He's a danger to the case for the feds. I'm just going to be honest. He's a danger to their case because they're probably using a lot of stuff that he done dug up, which is going to be looked at as inadmissible. Representatives for Jay-Z did not respond to requests for comment on Busby's latest comments and the accusations they contain. 2 days after Jay-Z and Beyonce hosted their annual post-Oscars gold party at the Los Angeles iconic Chateau Marmont, the superstars Rock Nation was also silent today about Busby's claim. They're not going to keep talking about this guy. They're just going to take it to court. We're going to see him in court. That's what they basically saying. In a filing seeing a jury trial and unspecific damages, Jay-Z's lawyer bluntly claimed that Doe has now voluntarily admitted directly to representatives of Mr. Carter that the story brought before the world in court on a global television was just that, a false, malicious story. The complaint goes on to say she has admitted that Mr. Carter did not assault her and that indeed it was Busby himself, whom she met for the first time at a coffee shop in Houston on the day of her maliciously false NBC News interview. She didn't meet this guy till she talked to NBC that day. He didn't know this chick from a hole in the wall. This guy got how many, what did he say, he got 120 cases? He's digging through 120 cases. He ain't even meeting these people. He not even vetting these people. He didn't met her till she did the interview that ruined the whole case. This guy's a hack. That's goofy. If anything, you're going to meet her 3-4 times before she go on NBC. But he didn't know she was going because he's not directly involved in these. He's just trying to shake these people down. He's sending out his invoices for the shakedowns. He's not paying attention to what's really going on. This chick slipped through the crack and wiggled her ass right over to NBC. And now we know the story is goony Google. We know it's a fairy tale and a myth. After months of a bare-knuckle legal and media fighting from Jay-Z's longtime lawyer Alex Spiro and Busby, the whole thing came to a sudden end February 14th, or at least part of it. But not for long. Building on his statement of February 14th, the trauma that my wife, my children, loved ones, and I have endured can never be dismissed. And his supposed loss of $20 million annually in business from Jane Doe's career-ending claims. $20 million annually after this chick did whatever, because I'm sure he lost some things that he was lined up and things he had going on. He can't do them no more. Jay-Z and his legal team soon went on the offense, as Busby details in his post today. They then sued her and me again for defamation. So if Busby has all this stuff of Jay-Z's team harassing it, then we will soon see. But he hasn't released it yet. He hasn't put it to the courts yet. So in my mind, it don't exist yet. All of this Jay-Z's team went and harassed his lawyers and did some foolery and didn't represent themselves and did all the time slickery. Well, all I know is the case is dismissed by the plaintiff herself. It ain't making no sense, anything else that you're saying, because everything else right now, we can't believe Tony Busby no more. You're done. We don't believe you. And yes, you need more people. Get more people, come back to the drawing board, try it again, but I don't think he's going to have to. I think Tony Busby not going to be able to practice law. And he definitely ain't going to be able to run these wild-ass cases up like he's doing right now. Everything is looking bad for Tony Busby. And the alleged victim is still trying to speak on this. I think she needs to simmer down at this point. That's just my opinion. I know that sounds kind of harsh, but we grown-ups, gang. Grown-ups have consequences. I can't get out here and accuse Selena Gomez of doing this and that and the third, and I take her to court, and then I say, oh, my bad, it ain't really happened. It's too late. I already accused her. Now I got to pay for the problem that I caused for her. Let me know what you think in the comments. CLBMG. I'm going to catch y'all on that flip side. Peace.
Look, mission impossible to drop a few lines without dropping old times when Southern Hill was still a gold mine. When pistol grips was my shit and I sold mine. When Alias was not a show and they told mine.
CLB.